Hi, my name is Asa Lindo, and today I will be presenting my creative critical reflection for my film, After Dark. The horror genre was a very fun choice to choose with my partner, Shea Esposito, being that I do enjoy watching horror movies myself. Although it was difficult, creating something that relates to my own interests made it very cool and exciting to produce and edit. The opening was inspired by thriller and horror movies like The Purge and Scream. I wanted to imitate a typical horror scene where characters try and find their way out of a dangerous encounter. To give backstory, my story includes a group of 4 friends who enjoy a movie together on what seems to be a normal night. As the main character, Stephen Hunter explains that the night is getting late, the group of friends get ready to leave. But, mysteriously, there is a man that creeps throughout the ins and outs of the house undetected. After the mysterious man reveals himself, the group of teens try to make their way around without getting caught. Now, I will be addressing the convention used during my film and how they address social groups or issues. In the horror genre, it is very typical to see what are known as clumsy moments to create more of a dramatic and suspenseful effect for the audience. My film uses this trope a few times. For example, when all 4 characters are introduced to the antagonist, they quickly run the opposite direction just to see him again. After this, they all scatter into the front yard, hoping to get away. Another example of this is right after the car scene. Stephen Hunter escapes from the killer, but trips on the way up the driveway, then running off into the distance. Another convention used is the mass killer trope. In many horror films, like Scream, The Purge, and Halloween, masks are used for antagonists, giving them a representation. Having something to represent themselves, antagonists are given an identity by the audience, making the films more interesting. Also, masks make characters easily distinguishable throughout the films. My partner and I created representation of the masks used in the movie The Purge: Anarchy. My partner and I wanted our masks to be very non-specific. To explain in more detail, we wanted it to look rough and worn out, but unrecreatable even by us. Although we took reference from another movie, we made our masks bent up and scuffed in random ways so that it could be unique. As seen in the picture, our killer has his own mask that makes him easily noticed within different scenes, or so that may seem. Before he is even introduced, our killer is hidden in plain sight, which leads me to my next trope. In most films like mine, many Easter eggs, also known as hidden features in media, are used to drop hints for future parts. This can be used to flashback or foreshadow previous and upcoming scenes or actions. In this case, we used ours to foreshadow. Being that the killer is very mysterious, this Easter egg resembles his ability to be hidden and undetectable throughout the movie. Now, a convention that we've broken is the merging of multiple movies in different franchises. My partner and I thought it would be a great idea to have our antagonists resemble exactly what the kids were watching in the movie. If you were to zoom in on the film they're watching, which was The Purge: Anarchy, in the beginning, you notice that the person swinging the machete has the same mask that our killer does. The main social group that we wanted to reach were teens in high school. Throughout today's society, many kids around my age really enjoy watching thriller films that include teens around their similar ages. A movie that conveys the same message as my short film is Talk to Me. Talk to Me is a horror film that was released in 2022 by 2 Australian directors, Danny and Michael. They were originally YouTube creators that have learned many skills throughout the filming process. Being that this is their first film, they did extremely well and reached the same audience that I'm trying to target. They use kids that are supposed to resemble kids around 17 to 18 years old, and so did I. I feel that having younger actors makes it so much easier to target these groups. Now I will be talking more about my target audience and distribution of my film. Being that my film genre is horror, I wanted to find the company that would best fit movies in this genre. After researching many film companies, Blumhouse fit the best. Blumhouse, founded only in 2000, has held some of the most successful horror films in today's world. Some of these include Get Out, Split, and Glass, which have all made between $135 and $175 million as a lifetime gross income. Blumhouse is known for their great use of advertising through ads. Their ads spread through television, apps like TikTok and Instagram, and more. Knowing that horror movies' target audiences land between the ages of 15 and 25, these apps make it so much easier for advertising, being that this age group also tends to use social media and television a great amount. I would definitely like to distribute my film through theaters first, because theaters are a key revenue source for many horror movies. After doing this, I'd like to spread it around many streaming media companies like Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, and others. This also helps target young adults, as the range for watching through streaming is 15 to 35. Throughout the journey that I have taken to build my film, I have learned a great deal of skills and ideas regarding the filmmaking process. Before ever trying to direct anything before, I had no clue the struggles that I would face during the making of my opening. With today's technology, editing and filmmaking was very easily accomplished. Now, when pondering about mise-en-scène, cinematography, sound, and editing, the elements sound so much easier to navigate and use to make a strong film. I've learned how to use the elements and what makes them effective while watching. Overall, the making of the film was very difficult for me. First, it took a long time to get all my actors, including myself, on the same schedule. Being that our lives are so busy, it was difficult to coordinate a same time for all of us to film. When first starting, it was a little hard to understand how we should go about setting up cameras, how to limit noise, and staying focused on what we should do to make sure our film came out as best as possible. After failing a few times, I started to get the groove for acting and directing, while my partner shot the film. As everything fell into place, it was much easier to get the filming done. Now I feel that I'm 10 times better of a filmmaker than I was before. Just using my iPhone 14, my partner was able to film with great quality using the cinematic mode on the camera app. After setting the camera to this mode with 4K at 30 frames, the quality enhanced tremendously. For example, I took 2 pictures of my wall inside my home, one using the cinematic mode and one using the regular mode. It is clear the difference between the two, as the cinematic photo is clear and more vibrant, while the regular photo was bright with bad quality. Editing was also very easy to learn using the app CapCut. This app provided many ways to make my film look better and allowed me to add sounds and text to it. For example, this is my zoom in scene, with and without editing. Another example of this is my runaway scene. With and without editing, you can see a major difference in feeling. With the music, there is so much more. As you can see, the addition of extra elements has clearly made this piece more exciting to watch. As you can see, the addition of extra elements makes my film so much more exciting to watch. As this is the end of my creative critical reflection, I thank you so much for taking your time to watch, and I hope you enjoyed the process of me becoming a better filmmaker.